Hello, it's Jeremiah, and I thought I would. I'm feeling sick today, and so I thought, in my world model, sickness is a stagnation within the system. So I was thinking, how can I move energy within the system, express it, get it out of me, so that way the sickness is no longer present? Um, and so that's why I thought I'd record this, because there is a lot that I would like to share, um, or at least get out of my system. For instance, where do I start? Identity. That will probably be the best. Or that's where I want to start. Because I learned at a very young age about containers. What is a container? It's something that contains something else. Which, when you think about a container, it's kind of mind-blowing, because everything could be described as a container, because everything contains something, and everything is contained by something else. And it just goes on, either to infinity or to some end. And either one of those is a weird thing. Like, it's just containers all the way up to infinity, or there's an end of containers. There's a container maximum that contains all containers. And that's a fun concept to even consider. Like, what would be the properties of a container that contains all containers? um it's just a fun thing to play with. But yes, identity. I learned that we're containers, but also that we contain beliefs, we contain thoughts, we contain ideas, we contain patterns, we contain, in a sense, programming, like what we've been taught and how to do things, which differs between families and cities and cultures and countries and species. Uh, and all of those pertain to values, or values, protections, safety, what was abundant in the area during the formation of those containers. Like, it all comes together to form and to inform the container. Which is why I like the idea that, like, reality as we experience it is a container processing the information stream of its surroundings. And that when this information stream comes in, it's not reality directly, but it's symbolic representations that we have. Symbolic representations that mean something to our soul, that we then form a projection to understand what would otherwise be undecipherable. Because I think that's something like with DMT, or that the strong psychedelics, my understanding is that they temporarily delete the mind, the mental model of understanding the world. And so at that point, you're just getting a raw data input. And so while the mind normally contains all of the structures and the symbols that it's able to apply to understand what it's seeing, this DMT would kind of like flush the cache of symbols, and you go, oh, I don't have any symbols to understand any of this. And I think that's what makes the experience so ineffable, is people come back from it and they say, I can't explain it, I can't describe it, because it's unlike anything I've ever experienced or witnessed or known, which makes entire sense if it's stripped your ability to recognize symbols within that state. And so let's ground a little bit. What I'm thinking about is identity. And so you've got the container and you've got the identity, which bounds you. It locates you in time and space, because like it's a weird concept, but like we are constantly reinforcing where we are in time and space. And if you remove the sense inputs, like there's nothing about this moment that you could say is specific to this time and place. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, there's nothing that can tie you to this time and place. And so, yeah, you're right, I repeated myself. If you take that, I lost track of my flow, but it's come right back to me. So we identify quite often at a very early age, as a child, as a member of the family, as a member of the community, as a student in school. And so all of these things, they come with expectations and rules, and they form what you are. They form a way of behaving, but more importantly, the bigger function is actually they strip everything you're not allowed to do away. And they say, you're allowed to be this. Like, you're allowed to be what we can see and understand, instead of being all of this. Which is what I would kind of call human nature, or nature itself, actually, because the idea of a human being separate from nature itself is a human concept. And the best way I like to describe this is like, if you were able to become the size of a like a mite, just like the tiniest little insect, and you place that on a human, what would that perspective be? And it's like, oh, tears would be like waterfalls, and the skin would be like a desert, or a lush forest with hair. And so it's like everything that we see and experience on Earth is kind of replicated in our bodies, but we don't tend to recognize it as such because the scale is different. Yeah, the scale is different. And so it's almost like the world itself is this the world reality itself is this field of possibility, and every time you identify yourself as something, you are both defining what you are and like through the through definition of what you are also stating what you are not. And so by saying you're this object, you're excluding all of this. And so if I said I was this object right now, you'd be like, oh, what is Jeremiah? He is eyebrows and eyes and a part of an ear. But like, we know that isn't true because we can move this frame and the definition would keep changing and all of it would be me. And you could expand this, you could contract this, but like whatever frame you put is still looking at me. But the odd thing is if you take this frame and you move it outside, like over here, oh, is that still me? And I feel like that's where you could make an argument either way. You could say that what's inside that square is defined by me. It's recorded onto this laptop, it's transmitted through the internet, and you are viewing it. And so it's been a creation of me, which you are now consuming. And so it's like, even though this is the background, even though this is not my body, it becomes an extension of me through this expression. And the expression then gets transferred and is able to live outside of me in other people as people consume ideas or concepts, and if they internalize them, then a part of me is now a part of you. And if that keeps going, then it's like, oh, that's what we define as influence. And so through the nature of influence existing, we are proving, or at least solidifying, the idea that like who you are is a conglomeration of every person you've ever interacted with, every person they've ever interacted with. And so when it comes to you that way, it's like, oh, so I am a container, but what am I containing? I'm containing the entire history of humanity. All of the best qualities, all of the worst. They are all inside of me. And if I'm containing all of that, then my concept of myself needs to be much larger than we've ever considered, because I thought I was just a child, and then I thought I was a student, and then I thought I was an engineer, but at the same time, I'm the container that contains the entire history of humanity within myself. So that is a much larger container. And yeah, these ideas feel quite outside of the norm, and I accept that because like my experience has been quite outside of the norm. And with identification, I want to clarify too. I learned this from a teacher at school, where they said that you can tell where someone is at by the words that they use. and the words that they use will point to a specific way of viewing the world and their relationship with it. And so I took this idea and I extrapolated it, and I was like, okay, well, what would be the most useful mindset to have? And what would be the most useful words to have to form an identity that would allow me to recognize myself as more capable. And so one of the techniques that I had was, instead of saying I am an intelligent person, which I am an intelligent person, it's in that frame, pardon me, it sounds great, but you're saying intelligent person. And so by defining yourself as a person, it's great for interacting with other people, but is it true? And I feel like that's one of those things where it's almost so simple that no one thinks to question it. It's like, am I a person? I guess so, but also, what is a person? And so I kind of get to define that, because we don't have a solid definition of what a person is, because we are still, to this day, learning what people are capable of. World records are broken every day. What used to be impossible becomes possible. And so we're constantly in this process of unfolding and learning and experiencing what we are. And so when it comes to intelligence, you could say that you're an intelligent person. But for me, I recognize that I exist now, and I existed as a child, and I existed in the womb, and that was all me. And so the intelligence that I have now is different than the intelligence I had as a child, which is different than the intelligence I had in the womb. But recognizing that as me, then I'm able to say, hey, that is a spectacular form of intelligence. To be able to take these instructions of DNA and create a human body out of it, and grow it and nurture it for 9 months, and then to go through the entire birthing process. And like that's all in it's all intelligence, but it's also not thought. It's before thought, it's before language, it's before concepts. And so it's recognizing that, that the best form of intelligence that I've ever recognized, what built the human body, the most advanced piece of technology that we've ever known, was all done before thought and before language and before concepts. So it does make me question, like, how useful are these for survival, for adaptation, when they obstruct from like this raw intelligence that we embody, like when we're born. And it, like, seeing it this way gives much more credence to like the intelligence of a baby, learning the world from scratch. It's so impressive, everything that they learn day in and day out. Um, and so when I talk about identity and I talk about intelligence, what what I am suggesting that we could try, like, you're welcome to try it. If you don't like it, you don't need to like it. That's fine too. But it's an idea that you could try, which is, instead of recognizing yourself as an intelligent person, try shifting that perspective to, I am the intelligence that created my body. And I think that's the first step, because then, like, the interesting thing about this is, like, if you're defining your intelligence, you can do it however you want. So you're the intelligence that created your body, but, like, how was your body created? Oh, well, your parents were existing before you, but then for them to exist and for them to have you, like, they are also part of your process of becoming you. And so it's like, oh, well, we can't actually create these, like, delineations the way we often think of. And so you could say, like, oh, I am this, like, familial process over generations, learning how to exist in the world. And that's really cool. So that's probably like the third step. And then you can take it another step and you can say, well, if you take this back all the way, well, what about it? And it's like, oh, I am also the intelligence that, like, formed planets. Like, out of, like, if it's me forming planets, why would I form a planet? It's like, oh, because sometimes it's fun to, like, take things that look similar and put them together. Like, that's a very childlike intelligence, but it also, like, it explains how planets form. It's like, it's this attraction of like and like that brings things together. And it's like, it's intelligence, but it's not thought and it's not concept. It's nature. It's that natural intelligence that spans the cosmos and is seen in humans, but that we also almost compartmentalize, and we say, oh, this is unconscious thought, and it is, yeah, we almost, like, put it in the closet and we say, oh, this is unconscious thought, like, we don't need to think about it, even though it is so powerful and it is so un underutilized. It's so, like, it's a fun way to exist in life when you go, oh, can I take this on, like, this fluid flowing intelligence, and can I use it? Can I work with it? Can I be it? And I think that's about where I'll stop, because I've really enjoyed, uh, yeah, sharing this. Bye.